Hello, I'm Nancy Akhavan. Welcome to At My Reading Table. Today I wanted to share with you something not about reading, but actually about writing. I was working with some teachers who were developing a unit of study on opinion writing, and they wanted a little help with how they might map out their unit of study. So we put pen to paper and started brainstorming some ideas, and then I thought it might be really helpful for you to see how a unit of study can unfold and how there's not really any right or wrong reason to how you develop a unit of study, but thinking about knowing your students, where they are with their writing, what your end goal is at the end of your unit, building it out from there. So take a look at this. This is a glimpse here, a quick glimpse of our brainstorming that I did with the teachers the other day. So I want you to take a close look and see what you notice here. So the first thing that I want you to notice is remembering that we do our work with our students in a workshop. So we start with a mini lesson, we're focusing on a task that has student voice and choice, and we release to them to do the work. This isn't about us doing the writing, this is about the students doing the writing and us coaching them. Let's take a look at this quick brainstorm of a opinion unit. So it starts here with an immersion into what is opinion. So we take a look at what is opinion writing. Look at a lot of different pieces or opinion writings. Bring in different magazine articles. I pull a lot sometimes from Scholastic or even from National Geographic Kids. I find things online and let students look at a bunch of different ways that authors write their opinions. Then on the second day, on Tuesday, go into a whole class brainstorm with different texts that we can look at, different topics that we could research. What do we want to write our opinions about? Then I go on to Wednesday with the students doing individual brainstorming of their topics. We use their writing notebooks and we have them brainstorm things that they're interested in writing about, and knowing that they're going to be doing, well, at first they could always even brainstorm topics that they don't have to do any research on, but they might be brainstorming topics that they need to do research on. Like perhaps they think that we should move to glass instead of so much plastic. They might need to research that a little bit. But if they're going to write opinion about their favorite ice cream, they may not need to do too much research on that. The next day is talking about how to take a side and how do you write about how to take a side. How do you write and start your opinion, and what does that look like? They can do brainstorming in their notebooks. They can write some openers about their opinions in their notebooks. Then, of course, there's going to have to be reasons. What are the reasons for your opinion? What information backs up your opinion? So they're going to be writing some reasons and doing some brainstorming in their writing notebooks. Over here, now they're going to pick one of those opinions and go a little bit deeper. From their brainstorming, they're going to pick one. They're going to write out the opinion and write reasons. If they're ready, they could also go into writing evidence for those reasons. Perhaps they do want to look something up, maybe do a quick internet search, or you have some books on certain topics in your classroom that they're interested in, and they have opinions about. They can use the books to state the reason and then look up the evidence in the text that supports those reasons. On this day, I'm going to repeat. We're going to continue working on this, writing an opinion with reasons, evidence, if the students are ready to have evidence. And what I mean by that is probably mostly by age. A young child, a kindergartner and first grader, I'm really not going to ask for evidence. But starting around end of second grade, into third grade and above, I'm going to ask students to provide evidence for their reasons. I like to do that because it pushes them back to text, it pushes them back to research, it pushes them back to websites to bring in factual information to back up the reasons that they have for their opinions. Here I go into some formal research of topics, and I show them how to do research. So they are going to be researching evidence for their topics. I give them some tools and strategies on how to do that. Here, they're researching text. They're starting to write evidence from the text with text-based evidence and connecting those text-based evidence statements to their reasons. We're going to repeat here. We're going to continue working on the same thing. Down here at the beginning of week 3, it's time to do planning. Let's start in on another opinion piece, something else they have an opinion about, or something else that they researched up here during this week. They're going to plan their introduction, how to state their opinion, how to write the reasons, and then provide text-based evidence. We repeat the same thing here. My mini lesson will be doing a lot of modeling of how do I plan my intro, state my opinion, provide my reasons, provide my text-based evidence so that students can continue working on this. Sometimes I find about this point students start getting stuck on what's the difference between reason and evidence. So I might need to brainstorm reasons and evidence and see the difference. The biggest difference is that reasons are in their own words. Evidence comes from text. Evidence comes from the research that they've been doing. Here we'll continue with the writing of intro, opinion, reasons, and evidence. They continue writing. They might be on a different opinion or a different topic, or they might be going deeper and working on the same topic, providing more evidence or deepening their reasons. Sometimes I find that students get stuck in what order they want to write their reasons and evidence in, and I don't want them writing and rewriting or even worrying about cutting and pasting on a Word document. So I'll have them write it on cards. Write your reasons on cards, and then you can reorder your cards as necessary before you get into doing some drafting. We're going to repeat here. We can use cards, or if they're just drafting right into a Word doc, they could be cutting and pasting in order to get things in the order they want. Then we're going to talk about how do we bring a piece to a close. We have an introduction, we state our opinion, we have reasons, we give evidence. How are we going to bring this whole thing to a close? Here, I go back to mentor text. I go back to the text that I looked at with students on the first day to make some decisions about how we can bring a logical conclusion to our piece. So the reader feels like it comes to an end. It's not just an abrupt end with the last reason and the last evidence. Here, I'm going to be working on some punctuation, reminding them to go back, check your punctuation, things we've worked on in class that they know that I'm expecting. I don't expect perfection. I just expect them to give it a try. Here, on the next to the last day, I always have the no miss words, and meaning you can't miss writing them correctly, have them up on the wall. These are words based on their grade level that are appropriate for them that they should be spelling correctly. For K1, I'm just starting with sight words. But in older grades, it'll be words that I've been working on with the class as a whole that we should be spelling correctly. Things like the difference between there, and there. Some words I want spelled correctly. I would want opinion spelled correctly. They would be working on that. On the last day, we would do a whole class share. Let students' voices be heard about the final opinion piece that they wrote. Time to celebrate. Anyway, this is a quick view of brainstorming that I've done. I'm not saying this is a perfect unit of study on opinion. I'm just saying that this is what it looked like when I brainstormed with a group of teachers, thinking about where their students were and what they could do as writers and where they wanted them to go and being able to write an opinion piece. So today we took some time in looking at a brainstorming that I did of an opinion writing unit of study with some teachers that I was working at. I shared that brainstorming with you. I invite you to do your own brainstorming and how you might lay out an opinion unit of study and what order you might go through. Remember, you need to start with where your students are, who are they as writers, what do they need next, and then build your unit of study so that you can get to that final place where they can celebrate and do a share. Again, thank you for watching at your reading table.